Live from the Don and Lorena Meyer studio at the University of Nebraska-Lincoln's College of Journalism and Mass Communications, this is Nebraska Nightly.
Good afternoon and welcome to Nebraska Nightly. I'm Addie Kelly.
And I'm Michael Johansson. Tonight on Nebraska Nightly, we'll take a look at Nebraska's basketball transfer portal activity.
Plus, an update on a family affected by a crime in Omaha. But first, an ASUN student government is being sued for discrimination. That's our top story tonight. The UNL Student Court heard from the University of Nebraska-Lincoln student and the ASUN Speaker of the Senate over alleged discrimination based on Jewish identity. The student of government met Tuesday to hear arguments from a Lippman and Maddie Beasley, where Lippman alleged that Beasley violated ASUN's non-discrimination clause through a Microsoft Teams message and then planning an anti-Semitation education event. According to student court documents, the student court is expected to deliver a written decision tonight. If anyone you know is facing discrimination at UNL, there are resources for you. Call UNLPD or file a report using the UNL X report system. Anyone can also file a complaint with the Office of Institution Equality and Compliance or contact a care advocate.
Today, UNLPD reported disturbing incidents inside one of the resident halls on UNL City campus. On April 4th, just after midnight, a student reported seeing a black iPhone slide into their shower stall. The female reported to her RA that someone had recorded her. UNLPD began investigating, and another similar incident happened 9 days later. Another student reported that a black iPhone had been pushed into their shower stall. When we called UNLPD, they told us that they had no updates on the situation and no description of the suspect. They encouraged students to be vigilant inside their dorms and report any suspicious behavior to their RA or other staff.
Today is the last day for Nebraska legislation, and it was a busy one. Nebraska Nightly reporter Hudson Carrico is standing by live with information on what happened at the Capitol.
Nebraska Governor Jim Pillen vetoed 5 bills sent to his desk by lawmakers yesterday. He returned several without a signature. One that really hits home here at UNL was a bill that would redefine terms relating to reportable funding from foreign sources for Nebraska universities. Pillen said exempting employee contracts, salaries, and wages from existing reporting requirements would make Nebraska a soft target for infiltration, specifically the Chinese Communist Party. For more information on this and other actions taken by the Nebraska legislature, you can visit the unicameral update on update.legislature.ne.gov. Back to you guys.
Thank you, Hudson. The new $600 million project named Big Red Rebuild will be presented to the Board of Regents next week. This project will update the west and east part of the stadium, including seating and a new video screen. Athletic director Troy Danian says the renovations will improve the fan experience and make Memorial Stadium a more attractive venue for events year-round. If approved by the Board of Regents, construction will begin after the 2026 season and is scheduled to be done by the 2028 season.
It's been a wild 24 hours in terms of weather here in Lincoln.
Here's more from forecaster Owen.
Well, it certainly has been a wild 24 hours here in Lincoln. We are actually at 72 degrees here at 8 a.m., but unfortunately a cold front came through and knocked that down to 58 degrees. We actually got down to 50 degrees before warming up ever so slightly. Now we got some winds and cloud cover that's again starting to decrease those temperatures. Those temperatures will again decrease as we go into the overnight hours, down to about 34 degrees, before picking back up to about 59 degrees tomorrow. Unfortunately, we can expect similar conditions tomorrow.
And how's the weather out there right now, Owen?
Well, it's certainly windy. I mean, my suit keeps trying to fly off, but we're holding on.
An update on a disturbing incident at an Omaha Walmart that involved an attempted kidnapping of a young child. Police have identified the suspect as a 31-year-old Nomi Guzman, who officials say had a history of violent incidents. Questions about the past incidents and her mental health leading up to the attacks. Police also released this disturbing body cam picture of Guzman holding a knife while threatening a 3-year-old boy. Soon after, she was shot and killed by police.
Reacted when they did, we wouldn't still have him. And if she would have been any lower with the knife, we wouldn't have him either.
And it's not just
2 years ago, Guzman was accused of setting her father's home on fire and breaking into a local church while armed with a knife. A judge later ruled she was suffering from schizophrenia and she also should remain under court supervision. Officials there said there were no recent signs that have stopped following her treatment plan, and she was scheduled for another court review in June as investigators continued looking into the case. Coming up next.
An update on the Strait of Hormuz and Israel's ceasefire, and look into UNL's latest AI event.
Stick with us.
Welcome back. My name is Owen Snodgrass. And again, taking a look, 57 degrees here in Lincoln, and those strong winds out of the north are making it quite brisk and chilly outside. And it's pretty much the same story here across Nebraska, 40s and 50s for the most part. Lincoln, probably the most lucky one out here. We got to 57 here. Unfortunately, here in Scottsbluff, though, only 41 degrees right now. And this is all due to a cold front that we had come through from northwest Nebraska and South Dakota through down into now Iowa and Kansas. You can see some thunderstorms actually popping off there in Missouri, Iowa, and Kansas. And that's because of that cold front that we saw, and that cold front is now causing these colder temperatures here. And there's actually some snow back here in western Nebraska, so not something you want to see in April for most Nebraskan residents. Those temperatures will continue to drop tonight, getting down to 34 degrees, and those winds will continue as we go throughout the overnight hours. Those will pick back up to about 59 degrees tomorrow, but those winds, again, will continue, and it'll feel pretty similar to what we saw today, maybe just a little bit more sun. We look at the drought monitor here in Nebraska. We've had warm, dry conditions for most of the year so far, and fortunately, last week we saw some good rain across eastern and southeastern Nebraska. See, these areas now are in no drought condition or just barely abnormally dry. So some much needed improvement here. Unfortunately, we saw some worsening conditions here in north central Nebraska. This is all, again, going to be amplified by some warmer temperatures as we go throughout the next week and a half here in Nebraska, just slightly above average expected temperatures over the next week and a half. And again, precipitation will also be above average across Nebraska, here slightly above average again for the next week and a half. We look at those rain chances, not expecting much over the next 5 days, especially over this weekend. Really no chance at all, and we see those chances really increase as we go into the end of the next work week, Thursday and Friday, expecting some sort of storm system come through and possible thunderstorms in the area. We look at your 7-day forecast here. 59 again tomorrow, but fortunately, we will see those temperatures climb back up. And it's basically all sunshine and rainbows Sunday through Wednesday. Again, we will see some storms enter the area Thursday into Friday, so something to keep an eye on. That's all for now. Back to you, Michael and Addie.
Thank you, Owen. The U.S. says Ireland and Lebanon have agreed to a 10-day ceasefire with the possibility of extensions if negotiations further. CNN Jeremy Diamond has the latest.
The Lebanese government went into these negotiations with one key demand, and that was for a ceasefire to be agreed to, for Israel to cease carrying out strikes inside of Lebanese territory, which they have continued to do all throughout the beginning of these negotiations, as has Hezbollah in terms of firing rockets on northern Israel, which we saw them do in the very first moments after these negotiations began.
After several weeks of tension regarding oil and jet fuel supply, Iran has openly reported the Strait of Hormuz and the maritime traffic. Iran says the Strait of Hormuz, a key global shipping channel, will be completely open to all commercial vessels and for the period remaining of the Israel and Lebanon ceasefire. Iranian Foreign Minister Abbas Arishtan posted the statement of social media, adding Friday that this is the line of a 10-day ceasefire that has just begun. On social media Friday morning, President Donald Trump praised the reopening, but added the U.S. will continue its blockade of Iranian ports until Iran agrees to its terms to end the war. According to the Iranian state media, Iran says if Washington does not end the blockade, it will consider that a violation of the ceasefire and it will close the strait again.
The College of Engineering at UNL is currently hosting Husker AI Days, a 2-week-long program designed to help students and staff strengthen their practical AI skills in their respective fields. The event brings together major industry leaders including Google, MathWorks, Microsoft, and OpenAI. There are also hands-on workshops, industry-led sessions, research discussions, and networking opportunities. Professor Mark Stone explains his opinions about this new Teach as a Teacher.
Yeah, I think people are still discovering the best ways to put it to use, and where I see it being really powerful is when people are using it to elevate their thinking. They're using it as a thought partner or a simulator or connecting pieces that otherwise wouldn't be connected.
Sessions are taking place across campus, giving student and faculty multiple opportunities to engage with experts and explore real-world applications of AI. To learn more, visit engineering.unl.edu/Husker AI Days. Coming up next,
How Huskers are handling the move out at the end of the semester.
stick with us.
Of the 40 million tons of plastic waste generated in the U.S. in 2021, only 5%, or 2 million tons, was recycled. Make sure you do your part in keeping Anderson Hall clean. For more information on recycling statistics, visit epa.gov today.
With the end of the school year approaching, students are preparing to move out of their housing and head home for the summer. Move-out week is adding stress for students as final exams and deadlines collide. Many are balancing major tests while racing to pack up before moving out. A local company, Storage Scholars, is stepping in to help students manage their belongings over the summer.
Like storage, containers, and like all the stuff that I don't necessarily need at home over the summer.
With finals and move-out happening at the same time, extra support like this is helping students stay focused on finishing the semester strong. Coming up next,
some Husker basketball transfers and looking into the Husker Diamond sports this weekend.
Stick with us.
Husker students struggle with food insecurity. Husker Pantry addresses food insecurity and a welcoming space by providing free food and personal items to UNL students in need. Due to high demand, the pantry often runs out of essential items. Help keep the pantry stocked by donating the most needed items. From canned food to personal items and cleaning supplies, you can make a difference by donating. Learn how to donate by visiting pantry.unl.edu.
Stops. And at the Nebraska Community Blood Bank, your blood could help save lives. Right now, only 7% of the population donates blood, but imagine if there were more.
We're sitting at below a 7-day level of supply of all blood types across the board. So every blood type is important, and we need all donors of all types to come in and donate right now.
At the Nebraska Community Blood Bank, they believe that all types make a strong blood supply.
Welcome back to Nebraska Nightly. I'm Jared Chata. After an impressive 2025-2026 season, Nebraska is building back the Nebraska men's basketball program as they welcomed in 2 transfers today. Caden Betts is a 6'8" forward from the University of Montana who averaged 3.1 points in the 2026 season. Betts started his career at Minnesota, where he committed after an impressive high school career where he was a 3-star recruit and the #2 prospect in Colorado. The other transfer is Trevin Lenhart, a 6'4" guard from Utah Valley University, who averaged 12 points last season for the Wolverines. Lenhart was not a ranked prospect out of high school and looks to add scoring from behind the arc with 37% from 3 for the Wolverines last season. Nebraska softball is currently in action with Minneapolis right now versus the Golden Gophers to start off a 4-game road trip. The Huskers are ranked #6 and are on a 8-game win streak as they head into the postseason. This game is currently under a weather delay and is still waiting for the first pitch due to thunderstorms in the area. Nebraska baseball heads into a weekend series with USC after a big 5-4 win over Creighton. They face the Trojans on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday and look to get their 30th win of the season as they currently sit at 28-9.
The new it, nutrition in some eyes of the nutritionists.
So guys, it's going to be a little bit, the weather's not going to be great. Are you guys going to go out and see the baseball game at all? Are you guys going to go catch some baseball?
Yeah, I'm going to the baseball game tomorrow. It should be really good weather for it.
Yeah, for sure. It's not necessarily the best weather, but baseball, you can play in any type of weather.
I'm going to go golfing, and I hope the wind doesn't mess up my game.
Yeah, for sure, for sure.
Coming up next,
The new It's nutrition in the eyes of some nutritionists.
and one final look at weather for this weekend.
Stick with us.
Many of the brands you love don't love animals like you do. Look at the labels of products you use for a bunny logo signifying they don't lab test on animals. Check the label for those who aren't able. Start making the shift by visiting crueltyfreekitty.com today.
It's primarily found in plant-based foods like fruits, vegetables.
It is an essential part of a healthy diet, but fiber hasn't always gotten the recognition that it deserves.
But experts say at the beginning to change. In today's Health Minute, Mandy Gaither explains why one dietitian is calling fiber the IT nutrient of the year.
It's primarily found in plant-based foods like fruits, vegetables, whole grains, and legumes. Fiber is known to aid digestion, but it also has a host of other benefits.
Fiber provides prebiotics, and prebiotics feed the good gut bacteria in our stomach to help them grow and flourish.
Julia Zumpano with Cleveland Clinic says gut health is more important now than ever, and fiber is a key component of that, which is why she calls it the IT nutrient of the year. But if you're going to increase your fiber intake, take it slow to avoid stomach distress. Begin by being mindful about how many plant-based foods you're eating in a day.
We usually say try to include 1 to 2 fiber-rich foods with each meal.
For breakfast, Zumpano says that could include Greek yogurt with berries topped with nuts and flaxseed, or some eggs with veggies scrambled in. She says a fiber-rich lunch could include a salad or a veggie soup. And dinner is some sort of protein with a whole grain and whatever veggie side you enjoy. There are fiber supplements that can provide some benefit as well, but Zumpano says it's best to get the nutrient through your diet if possible, because fiber-rich foods can help keep you full, slow down the rate of glucose absorption in the bloodstream, and help to manage weight and cholesterol.
There's so many other benefits of fiber, so if you're consistently aiming to meet your fiber needs through your diet, you're only going to maximize those benefits.
For Health Minute, I'm Mandy Gaither.
Let's take a final look at our weather. Owen, what do you got?
Well, it's certainly looking like a windy and not the most favorable weekend in terms of outdoor weather, but those winds will help to aid the baseballs if you're planning to catch a home run. Out in right field, we'll have winds from the north. We'll have winds out of the north aiding in the baseball, so if you're out in right field, may be able to catch a couple extra home runs this weekend. Temperatures will warm up as we go throughout the weekend, and Sunday hopefully should be much better outside. I'm hoping to get out to the game tonight. Not looking as favorable now, but have you guys been to a baseball game yet this year?
Yeah, the last game I was at was a pretty cold and windy one, so not looking forward to that tomorrow.
I have not been to a game this year, but I am looking to catch one soon.
Yeah, I've been able to get to a couple games this year. This team's looking pretty good. Like I said, they're looking for their 30th win in this weekend series. They're at 28 right now. If they can get a couple wins against the Trojans, they will be at 30 wins. So.
Big weekend.
Yeah.
Thanks for tuning in to Nebraska Nightly.
Be sure to follow us on social media at Nebraska Nightly.
Our next live show is Tuesday at 4:45.
Have a great night.
Nebraska Nightly is a production of the University of Nebraska-Lincoln's College of Journalism and Mass Communications.